Hey everyone, for AZ Central Sports, I'm Katherine Fitzgerald alongside Greg Moore. It is Monday following the Cardinals' 7th loss of the season. They lost 26-14 to the Kansas City Chiefs and now are 2-7. They showed some signs of improvement during the game, but we just heard from Steve Wilks, and in his opening statement, he started his press conference today saying there are no moral victories. They're not looking at that. They have things to build on, which is huge looking into the rest of the season, but they're not taking too much solace in the fact that they lost a game that they were in for a while. What do you think they have to do moving forward to build on some of those things to salvage other parts of this season?
So, given that we're talking about Steve Wilks is a defensive guy. Let's start there. The defense was able to get pressure in Kansas City on Patrick Mahomes, right? We saw Chandler Jones make some sacks on third down, get the defense off the field. That's a huge thing. If you can create pressure, that makes things easier on the secondary, and it seemed that the secondary and the front guys were able to work well together in spots. I would start with building on that. The next thing that I would build on is Josh Rosen and offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. Leftwich seemed to be able to get David Johnson more involved in the run game and the pass game. What did you see out of David Johnson?
Yeah, David Johnson had his best game of the season. He said he felt more like 2016 where he had that huge breakout year. Rushing, he had 98 yards, 85 on receptions, both season highs. He was able to get more involved, but I think the offensive line is still a huge issue for the Cardinals. Even when they helped Johnson, Rosen was getting hit a bunch. That's hard on anyone, but especially a rookie quarterback. So Steve Wilks mentioned today that Justin Pugh still undergoing an MRI, or they don't have the results yet, so we'll have to hear about him. But whether or not Pugh is back, they have to make some major changes to be more effective at protecting the quarterback.
Yeah, and one piece of that is to make sure that you're protecting Rosen without hindering his development, because you're keeping so many guys in that he doesn't have enough passing routes developing down the field to, help him to learn to go through progressions, these sorts of things. But I think, that's the stuff we should focus on. One thing Steve Wilks said is that he's not going to worry about draft picks. He's not thinking about that right now. He said that that's a loser's mentality. And I think if you're a fan, I think if you're somebody who's rooting for this team, that's something that you wanted to hear.
Definitely. They'll eventually need to address the offensive line, but Wilks is not looking to the draft yet. So I think I agree that was important to have him addressed today.
Yeah, like you might want the high draft pick, but you don't want these guys playing for it. You want these guys fighting and scrapping for everything they can get.
Yeah, the Cardinals face the Raiders this week, so looks like a winnable game. Definitely closer on paper than being 17-point underdogs against the Chiefs. They're favored right now. But Wilks again said he's not really looking at that. It doesn't matter whether or not they're favored. He's just trying to get all the pieces in place to get this team closer to where they thought it would be, particularly with the offensive line. So we'll have coverage leading up to that game against the Raiders. Keep checking azcentral.com.